Shalom. First of all, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, and salutation to the lick Akim out there pushing the word and truth and sincerity. And this video gonna be about an article on Newsweek.com, and the title is "If the Big One Hits Soon, We Won't Have Any Warning. Here's why." And it said the big one, that's talking about an earthquake, that hit in California, and they said it's like 100 years overdue or some 100 years overdue. They said it occurs, every so many years and shit, and they said it's like 100 and something years overdue, and it's supposed to happen, an earthquake, a big ass earthquake. And they said it's supposed to be like on a scale of 9 or 9 point something or even 10, or even greater than that, but they just know it's gonna be a huge one because it hadn't happened in a minute. But I'm about to read in the article and I'm gonna get some scriptures and I'm gonna close it out, Lord willing. But the title, if the big one hits soon, we won't have any warning. Here's why. Just like the yeah. So like it says, someday the West Coast will out of nowhere have a very bad day. Perhaps the ground will split open across 180 miles from Los Angeles to the Salton Sea, and the worst local upheaval in more than 150 years. So say the West Coast in California, man. And I hope they said it will out of nowhere have a very bad day, and I'm looking forward to that, man, because like it's a lot of wickedness that go down in LA. I used to live out there on the West Coast, man, and it's a lot of wickedness, man. And I'm not gonna say I was like the angel or some shit out there. Like I ain't never, like I ain't never did nothing out there, the wickedness. But man, I could say that it's wicked as fuck out there, man. In California, man. Listen to the name Los Angeles, not just saying that shit though. Los Angeles, Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Like all them niggas lost out there. More of them. I mean, most of them. Only people that's not lost out there is the brothers out there preaching the word, man. But yeah, man, that place Los Angeles, or that place California period, is wicked as fuck. Hollywood, Hollywood is filled with a lot of freaky fucking wicked ass shit, man. So but yeah. It said have a very bad day. Perhaps the ground will split open across 180 miles from Los Angeles to the Salton Sea in the worst local upheaval in more than 150 years, or perhaps the 600-mile long scar off the coast of Washington, where a hunk of crust called the J-15 plate is constantly being shredded, will give away. Which fault gives away first? Scientists know the nightmare scenario will happen eventually. The only question is when. So they know it's gonna happen. The only question is like when it's gonna happen. And that can happen at any moment. It's gonna happen when the Lord wanted to happen, because he said, I make peace, I create evils. He said, I the Lord do all these things. Roughly paraphrasing. Also he said, should the trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? And should it be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? Yeah, the Lord did that, And this is evil meaning bad times. And if that earthquake happened, it's going to be a bad time. They said, whichever fall gives away first, scientists know the nightmare scenario will happen eventually. The only question is when. If it happens tomorrow, there won't be any warning. The way I know that an earthquake is happening is I feel shaking, Robert Michael D. Groot told Newsweek. And if people were going to know about shakes in advance, D. Groot would be one of them, since he works with the U.S. Geological Survey Program to create earthquake warning. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna read in that article, man. Hey, they just said it's gonna happen soon, man. But the Bible predict that, man. Because the scriptures, when they say it's gonna be earthquakes in diverse places, it's not only talking about big earthquakes. I mean, just regular earthquakes like 6 points or 7 point. No, it's talking about great earthquakes too, and also small earthquakes. We got all those happening, but this particular one, Cali, is gonna be a huge one. Like probably it's gonna be a history record breaker one. You know what I mean? But continuing on reading, It's Luke chapter 21, verse 10 through 11. It said, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes should be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. Yeah, it said, and great earthquakes should be in diverse places, man. So this is gonna be happening in diverse places, and it's been earthquakes in Mexico and through plenty of places, China, throughout the world, man. And that's coming to pass. Another scripture on the earthquake, Isaiah chapter 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. So, hey, the Lord said you're going to be visited with earthquakes, and that's, that happened. Great noise. It said with storm and tempest, hey, storms you're gonna these ain't the only storms you're gonna receive. So you gonna your kingdom is gonna be attacked by hella storms. Like you see, you had that one in Texas. You got hella tornadoes that happen all the time, man. So hey, them part of them storms that the Lord talking about. Flame and devouring fire. That's talking about the nuclear missiles and also them forest fires that you got, man. That's a storm too. When forest fires that you got, man. It's been a record-breaking year. If I'm not gonna say last year, a forest fire. But I'm about to get a couple more scriptures. Matthew chapter 24, verse 32. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and pulleth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when ye should see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. What's near? The day of the Lord. When you see them signs, these signs that I just went through, Isaiah and Luke, when you see part of them, he said, know that it's even at the door. Just like when you see a fig tree and it's about to be summertime, and how you know it's summertime when it start the leaves start budding on the tree. You know that it's summertime, just like when you see these motherfucking these signs, man, like earthquakes. You know that the day of the Lord is at hand. It says, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all things be fulfilled. But so hey, this is gonna happen in our lifetime. But bear with me. But yeah, though, yeah. Let me get a couple more scriptures, like two more, and I'm gonna end it out. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep. How do we know the times? Only way we know the times is by the Lord giving us the signs. The Lord giving us the signs. That's the only way we know the times. Yeah, like signs, earthquakes, storm, all that. It said, and that knowing the time, that it is high time to wake out of sleep. So y'all people gotta wake up out of y'all coma that y'all in. You see these things happening. If you don't know how to break down the times, the Lord gave you men of the Lord that could break down the times for you. It's up to you to hearken unto it and look for these signs and motherfucking wake out of your sleep, out of your coma, get up out your iPhone, get up out your motherfucking bed, get up out your all that. You know what I mean? Said, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. Said, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us put on the armor of light. What's that armor of light? Yeah, so where it goes into Ephesians chapter 6, 11 and 18. Put on the whole, because this is what we gonna need in these times to come. To be able to motherfucking survive. Because wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times. It said, Ephesians chapter 6, 11, verse 18, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the armor of the Most High, which is the armor of light that it was talking about, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. So this is how we gonna stand in this day, and it's gonna go into what that armor of light is. It says, stand therefore, having your loins go about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, where ye should be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints, man. You know, this is what we supposed to do. That's the armor of light. Ephesians chapter 6, 11 and 18. Basically the faith and the prayer and the you could say fasting and mainly the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the scriptures, man. That's the armor of light. And it's in Ephesians 6, 11 and 18, man. So we'll be able to stand in these days when this shit ramp up. Because look, it's not just gonna, it ain't just staying like this, you know. It ain't just gonna stay on no little bitty shit. No, this shit about to ramp up. You know what I mean? These earthquakes, all this shit, man. This is the conclusion. You know, it's not gonna be no more wicked kingdom that rises up in this planet Earth. This is the conclusion. This is the end. You know, it was marvelous at the beginning, and it's gonna be marvelous at the end. You know, it's always like that. Like the Lord, when He created everything, He seen that it was good. It was marvelous. Like He created a creation. So when it ends, it's gonna be marvelous in a bad and beautiful way. You know, it's gonna be the ending. So we got to take on the armor of light. You know, so we'll be able to have faith when these big earthquakes go down, and all these prophecies and all these things come to pass, man. You know, and I'm talking to myself first and foremost. So yeah, that was the article on Newsweek.com talking about that earthquake in Cali, man. You know, with that, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, and citation to the elect Akim out there pushing the word of truth with sincerity. Shalom.